thing. And we're all guilty of this. I'm guilty of it. You've been guilty of it. And it's happened to us. It's happened to me and it's happened to you. But you're in the thick of things. Someone has said something to you, really didn't hit you very good. And, we just fire right off, or we get in defense mode. Something hurts our feelings, or we don't like the situation. And we may fire right off, at the mouth. But what I've found is that writing is so useful. If we just kind of walk away or take that minute, or maybe write it down. Recently, I gave some advice to someone. They were kind of having a little argument with their best friend. And so I said, and they live at home with their friend. So I said, why don't you, they were kind of spewing off everything that they thought was kind of the matter and kind of wrong. And then I said, well, if you can't exactly say this, because some of the things, they seem kind of, if you say certain things to people, it may not come across in the best way. So I said, why don't you write your best friend a letter? And just write. You don't have to worry about editing and proofreading. And, this isn't a grade. This isn't being graded. This is for you. And the letter does several things. The letter gets some steam off, because as you're writing, you're just going for it and you're saying anything and everything. And then also what it does is it lays those feelings out on the table, and it kind of lets you see, wow, what if I really said this to this person out in the open? Would I really like it if someone said this to me? So it kind of puts things in perspective. And then I just say, write and just write. And then you can read it back then, or you can wait and read it back. When you go back, maybe wait a day or two. When you go back and you read that letter, do you still really feel that way? Is it really still those same situations? Well, if it is, maybe you should go ahead and give that letter to the person. Or maybe it needs a little refining. Maybe those situations are still very imminent, but you just wouldn't quite say it like that. And then maybe you might look at the letter and say, well, I really didn't need to say this, and these issues are really very silly. This is a friendship I want to keep, or this is a situation that I'm going to be in, or hey, I'm at this job and I've got to deal with it. That letter really got some sweat off my back, and you can just throw it away or trash it or shred it or whatever you want to do. But the whole idea is writing and being grateful. And so whatever that looks like for you, it may be convenient if you keep a journal, or it may be, if you keep, and it doesn't have to be some kind of fancy journal. It can be a notebook that you get from the dollar store. But it's just the concept of writing and being grateful and showing gratitude. And so what is it? What are you grateful for? That can be, aside from if you have a problem with someone or you want to tell somebody something, writing down what you're grateful for can be a great place to start in a journal. And just bringing it back around to the elections. Okay, so Donald Trump has been elected. You're still going to be you. You're still, and my mom and I had this conversation. And I talk to my mom a lot. She is really of great wisdom, and she's really got me through so many things and times in my life. And I think I appreciate her so much more because I don't have a father. My father has passed away, and I definitely believe that when you lose a parent, you hold on tighter a little bit to the other one. And so my mother has been a great support to me, and I hold on to that old adage that moms are always right. And for the most part, she has been. But I was talking to my mother about, Donald Trump winning, and this was before he actually won, but it was looking like he was going to win. And, she just said, you're still going to be you. God still created you. You still have breath in your lungs. You're still here. You woke up post the election. And so you still have to wake up every day with intent. You still have to wake up every day and live on purpose. Donald Trump being elected as the president of the United States is not the end of the world. It seems bad. It looks bad. We don't know what's going to happen. We're not fortune tellers and soothsayers. We have no idea what is coming next. It could literally be anything. But you are still you, and God is still God, all by himself. There's an awesome quote by a religious leader that I love, and his name is Mike Murdock. If any of you have not heard of him, if you've heard of him, you know how great he is, or who exactly I'm talking about. And if you haven't heard of him, Google him. His name is Mike Murdock. And he has an awesome quote that I love. He says, "You will only be remembered for two things: the problems you solve or the ones you create." And that's a powerful statement, isn't it? I'm just going to say it again. You will only be remembered for two things: the problems you solve or the ones you create. So that is so powerful. Just marinate in that for a minute. There's so many things that we do in a lifetime. There's so many things that happen to us, so many things that we go through. We carry things with us. We let things go. We let people go. We travel. We cross the borders and seas, and for many of us, countries and nations. I know, I've traveled abroad and I've been to several countries, and it's a great pleasure. And it's just all of these things that we encounter and that we do and that we happen to stumble upon. But we'll only be remembered for the problems that we solve or the ones we create. And that's important, because that means that there's work to do. That means that despite Donald Trump, or despite all the hectic chaos, you still have work to do. We all have work to do. And, that's one of the things that I like to say is, my life's goal. If I ever would have a regret, it would be to live here and be here, and to not be able to live out my life's purpose. And so, if you don't know what your purpose is and you need help finding your purpose, email me at kindofcompassion@gmail.com. I will work with you or refer you to wherever you need to go to help you so that you can start to find your purpose and to know what it is and to start moving in it. I believe in that. I believe it's very important in life. And, there's a lot of things that I do that people just do not get. They don't understand it. And I remain intentional about things, and I do certain and specific things because I know my purpose. I know what it is that God has called me to do. And actually, I have several purposes, and some people do. Some people are called to a few different things, and that's okay. And so when you get a chance to there's no feeling, there's no words to describe. I could get stumbled over my words because there's no way for me to be able to describe what it's actually like to be in your purpose. I'm so blessed to have this radio show, and I am so grateful to the producers of this show for this opportunity, because I definitely believe that it's in line with my purpose. I love to talk, and I love to teach and educate and share And this is just really right up my alley. And when I'm doing this, it's just, again, there's no words. And so when you're moving in your purpose, it does not mean that you don't have obstacles. It doesn't mean that things aren't going to happen or that they're always going to go your way, but you can feel that you're on the right track. Things kind of open up for you. And even in the midst of the chaos and the obstacles, you have a peace. You feel just right. You know that you're operating and you're doing things just as God would have them to be. So I definitely encourage you, if you do not know what your purpose is in life, or if you're struggling with that, I will again try to direct you into where you can go and who you can talk to try to help you get on that path, or I will try to definitely guide you as much as I can. So email me at kindofcompassion@gmail.com. Let me hit you up with another tip for your mental health. This all is in line with being okay with yourself, being good in your skin, and getting things done. Because guess what? And you probably hear this all the time, and it couldn't be a truer statement. But if you're not okay, others around you aren't going to be okay. So especially if you're a parent, you're a mom or you're a dad, or you're a supervisor or a leader of any kind, if you have any kind of role or any kind of responsibility, you've got to be okay, because there's things that got to get done. And how can they get done if you're not okay? Well, maybe you get them done and maybe you fumble through it just a little bit. But are you being effective and are you being efficient? So you have to take care of yourself, and you'll hear me just kind of harp on that a lot, because it's very important. So another tip is getting away. Go on a trip. Take time away. And sometimes they call it, if you can't, get out and go somewhere far away, if you really don't have the money. Because I get it. A lot of us live paycheck to paycheck, or even if we don't live paycheck to paycheck and we're okay, we get to do a few things and we get to get a few of the things we want, we live okay, we still may not have what it takes, all of us, right, to just go out of the country or just go to another state, especially if we're having a family that we're raising. So I get it. So I want to give you realistic tips that you can use. And so that's when they say, I'm trying to think of the phrase, vacation, a staycation, is that what it is? So you don't always have to, leave the state or leave the country. You can get away right in your city. A lot of times there's some great little hideaways that are really inexpensive or reasonable, nominal fare for you to get away and maybe have a girls trip, or maybe even not even take your girls, or maybe not even take the guys. Just your time away to get centered, to refocus. Maybe you want to go and check in at a hotel in the next city over and go to the spa. Maybe you want to start a meditation day. It could be anything, but get away. It could be going to a movie alone. This is very good, because some people do not know how to be with themselves. When you go to get away, you don't have to be going with someone else. Spend some time with yourself. For some of us, that's why we have some of the problems that we have, because we don't even know ourselves. We don't even know who we are. We don't even know what we like. We allow other people to tell us who we are, what we like, what we're going to do. We never spend time with ourselves. When we're by ourselves, it seems like something's wrong, or you're anxious and you have to get up. There's people who are restless. They are never able to just sit with themselves. And if this is you,